one day I saw her and her husband at Samson. She looks totally different when she's out.
Yeah.
I was like, holy cow. They were going out on a boat. So she was dressing for summer. I was like, oh my God.
It's like seeing your teacher at a gas station.
Yeah. So funny, I shook Trey's hand and everything. So one of my
Checker.
Oh, I can turn my mic on.
Yep.
I'm John, by the way. Alexa.
Yes.
Or Alexa.
Alexa.
I'm glad
Don't say Alexa,
Kevin
turn my
told me that
mic
he
on.
had called you too about
Alexa,
that
turn my
because when I
mic
called
on.
Tony,
I
he
can't have
didn't
one.
answer, and then he called me as I was driving here. He was like, "What do you need?" And I was like, "It's already taken care of. It's been like 25 minutes."
Oh, yeah?
Never actually.
Is this your piece?
No, that's not mine. Yeah. That's my light. So she's gonna call you back?
No, I'm on with it now.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
You go ahead and see.
Yeah.
Totally forgot. I'm glad we didn't say something.
Yeah, yeah.
Is this yours?
Yeah.
Depends on how long we go outside. I just really know what to do in here other than stepping our feet. So.
Yeah.
Mic check.
Oh, you go. Okay.
Is it on, Jason?
Yeah, give me my check.
Mic check 1 2. Mic check. Mic check. Good.
Tender notification. Make sure you get my good side.
Yeah. Jason, do you have a bad side?
Yes. No. No. Oh,
All right.
no.
I hear it's sheer perfection.
Found an old newspaper article.
Are you still here?
From Gulf Breeze, on the Gulf Breeze.
Okay, cool.
They showed me skiing and they flooded in the streets in Gulf Breeze when it flooded. Had a truck that was pulling me behind.
You ought to write a book, buddy.
Yeah, we can. Okay.
Hey, that could lead to a felony though.
Yeah, back then they didn't care.
You don't talk about, right?
Yeah.
The inner tube.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Back then it was just fun. Now it's, you know.
Back in the day, if you carried BB gun at Gulf Breeze, you go to jail. I took it to jail. My mom said, told the chief, bring him home. We lived next door to the police chief back then. Bring my son and your son home.
Yes, ma'am. We'll do that right away.
retired now.
Yeah, she's another Gamecock.
Okay.
Yeah, I hate myself if I tell you what class it was. But, when the J school used to be over there next to where McMaster, I guess, Master's school's still there or not, but, class of '74.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, not Kevin Robinson. What's the guy with Studer now that used to be at the News Journal and then retired?
Oh, I can't remember.
He and I were classmates.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he was with the News Journal in the executive position, then he retired, now he works at Studer
Huh.
Institute. Black guy.
Yes,
Okay.
y'all were classmates.
Yeah, we were classmates, yeah.
That's so cool. So where are you from originally?
Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Yeah. But, I got drafted out of Carolina and when I got out of the draft, finished up, I went back and the dean over there at J school was a fellow named Buchanan, 80 years old. I mean, he'd been there for years and years and years. And he said, well, you're out of the service now. What are you going to do with the rest of your life? And I said, I want to go back to the newsroom because I guess Channel 10 is still WIS in Columbia.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was, yeah, that was the big deal there.
Yeah, they still are.
And I had spent my undergraduate years in the newsroom there,
Mhm.
rewriting wire copy in the middle of the night, to make some money.
Right.
And I said, well, I'll go back to the newsroom. He goes, John, I mean, this guy's 80 years old. He goes, John, look, my advice to you is go get a business degree and then go to the newsroom. Because he said the bean counters have taken over our industry. And he said the bean counters they're getting their way. And the journalists, senior journalists are getting shut down. And they're controlling everything in our business. And he said, go over there so you can do battle with them in the newsroom. So he called over to the business school there. And so that's why I've got several degrees
Mhm.
from South Carolina.
Because he told you not to do it.
He told me don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
And it turned out pretty good, actually.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But I guess he's long since gone.
Mhm.
But it was, I had a little apartment over on Waccamaw Street,
Okay,
which is
yeah.
just off of Rosewood.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Spent some time on houses over there.
I guess they're all, I haven't been to Columbia in a long time, so I guess they're still over there.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like a lot has changed, but
I guess.
probably not much at the same time.
I guess the horseshoe is still part of the
Yeah.
campus. I guess they take care of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the heart of campus still.
Best part of, like I said, best part of living in Carolina was you were 2 hours from Myrtle Beach.
Good morning. I want to thank you all for being here and helping us get our message out to the people that we serve. This morning, Chief Randall is ready to let you know the latest in the Kayla Atwood case, and we also have Mayor Reeves here and Trey Myers from the State Attorney's Office to answer any questions that you may have. Please be reminded that this is an active and ongoing investigation, and there are simply some questions that we're not going to be able to get to at this point, but we will be able to do that at a later time. Chief?
Thank you, media partners, for joining us today on this solemn day. I want to bring you an update on the missing person case of Kayla Atwood. Last Friday, January 5th, our officers responded to the 2300 block of West Belmont for a missing persons report. Upon taking that report, we launched a massive investigation into the whereabouts of Kayla Atwood. Through the investigation, we learned a lot of different facts. We learned that there was video footage. We learned that there was contact at the daycare. We also learned that there was a Penske truck that was involved. we also made contact with that individual and was able to process that vehicle and potentially eliminate that person for their involvement. Kayla was last seen with that individual. Also, we were able to locate video footage later on that indicated that another vehicle had showed up in the area of Kayla's residence, and we see an image of an individual getting into the passenger side of that vehicle. That vehicle left the area going eastbound on Belmont. Through investigative measures and investigative techniques and use of technology, we were able to learn that Kayla's cell phone was last located in the area of the 400 block of G Street. Through that information and other investigative techniques, we were able to develop a person of interest. We were able to talk to that individual early on in the investigation and establish different timelines and different statements. Ultimately, we learned in the investigation that this individual had tampered with some evidence early on in the case, actually before Kayla was reported missing. So we actually charged that individual, Mikhail Fountain, with tampering of evidence earlier this week. We continued our investigation that continued to lead us in the direction of our person of interest. And late yesterday, we were able to obtain further evidence, and in collaboration with our investigative team and the community, we were able to respond to a location off Stowe Road over in Escambia County. Out there, we utilized Legacy K9 search team with cadaver dogs, and we were able to locate a shallow grave and a wood line just off the roadway. Unfortunately, in that shallow grave, we were able to locate the remains of a person. And late last night, that person and the remains were identified as Kayla Atwood. Immediately after that, we obtained arrest warrants from Mikhail Fountain, and he was taken into custody in the 300 block of G Street. And he's currently in Escambia County Jail under no bond. There are a number of things that went on in this investigation, but one thing I would tell you is the due diligence, the dedication, and the collaboration between a number of agencies here in Escambia County came to bear. This became our #1 priority for the last week. Left no stone unturned because Kayla was our priority. I want to thank the members of our investigative team and all the Pensacola Police Department for the countless hours and dedication that they espoused during this investigation. Our partners at Escambia County Sheriff's Office was involved as well. Florida Department of Law Enforcement provided resources. Our great partner at the State Attorney's Office, we have Trey Myers here for all the investigative assistance and legal guidance. Legacy K9 search team for the use of their K9 assets to help us as we search multiple properties during this investigation. And importantly, I want to thank Kayla's family. They've been very, very instrumental and very, very strong during this investigation as we search for Kayla to bring her home. And I also want to thank, lastly, our community. Our community, each and every one of you provided a number of tips that led us in a number of different directions that helped us, as always, clear cases here in the city of Pensacola. So with that said, last night we arrested Michael Fountain, 34-year-old black male, charged him with homicide, battery, and resisting arrest. And like I said earlier, he is currently in Escambia County Jail under no bond. And at this time, I'll stand by to take any questions that you may have in reference to the investigation.
Chief, have you been able to determine a motive?
What we know at this time is that Kayla and Mr. Fountain were involved in a relationship and suspect probably jealousy.
Next question I had, he was arrested for tampering with evidence, and I believe he bonded out and then charged with resisting arrest in this second arrest. Can you go into detail at all about that?
Yeah, I'll cover a little detail about that. So he was arrested earlier this week for tampering with evidence, and that was video evidence from a neighbor's house that was earlier reported by the media. And so he actually bonded out late yesterday, right before we were able to rearrest him again. So.
Can you talk about the resisting arrest charge? I mean, what that's in reference to?
That's in reference to when we went to arrest him. He hid from law enforcement, wouldn't come out and all that. So that's.
Mr. Myers, maybe a question for you. Can you talk about the charges you're pursuing?
Well, at this point, we're going to have to evaluate the evidence and take a look at what the evidence and the facts show and decide the appropriate charge.
Chief, was there a key breakthrough that led you to resolve this case?
There were a number of key breakthroughs, but yesterday I would say had to be the most important evidence that we were able to receive through the use of technology. I can't, and we'll not go into specifics because the investigation is still active, but that information and evidence that we received yesterday was instrumental in the recovery of Kayla yesterday.
Chief, how does this speak to the issue of gun violence in the area? Not only that, but our law enforcement response to that. I think 48 hours, or I'm sorry, a week or so, this case was solved. What does that mean to you?
It shows you the dedication that your law enforcement community has here in Escambia County. I mean, we will utilize every tool we have available to us, whether it's local, state, federal, international. We don't care, because the most important thing is to make sure Pensacola is safe, Pensacola is vibrant. And if anybody out there thinks they're going to get away with anything here in Pensacola, you have another thing coming, because we're serious about making sure our city is safe. We're serious about protecting us. And the dedication of the men and women that's standing behind you, that work in this agency, civilian and sworn, and all over Escambia County, we're going to get the job done one way or another. And we're going to utilize every tool. And we're backed by an amazing community, because without the community, we wouldn't be able to do the things that we do.
Speak about the K-9, the legacy K-9. How do they help you in this case? How important are they to have?
Well, the Legacy K-9, they're nationally certified cadaver dogs. So they help us when we have particular areas that we want to search that in this case, we had to unearth remains. So they were able to go into a particular area and direct us to where we needed to be. So instead of, a wide area search, they were able to focus us, hone us into a very specific area, which helped bring this to a conclusion a lot faster.
We see senseless crimes like this a lot, not only in our area, everywhere. But what's your message to that next person out there that it may be looking to commit a senseless crime like this?
My message is don't. Don't. Because you're not going to get away with it. I mean, we're serious about this. I mean, we swore an oath to uphold, the safety and the sanctity of this city, of this community. And we will stop at nothing to hold those accountable who want to bring harm to anyone in this community.
Mayor, can we get your thoughts on
Yeah, sure. I mean, my first thoughts as Chief was briefing me last night and early this morning were, of course, to Kayla and Kayla's family. Certainly it's a tragic day in our city to hear that kind of news. But I think really the second part of it is reinforcing what the Chief said about how thankful, how proud I am as mayor, and how thankful I am as a citizen and a resident of this community to have the police department that we have. That I know when we're hearing about this and when there's questions to be answered over this week of time, that I've got the utmost confidence in the Chief and everybody here to get the job done. And I can tell you, as long as I've been mayor, that has never failed to be the case. And so I'm just super thankful to the Chief, to all of our officers, to get civilians sworn, everybody who makes the police department go, and in what is a tragic loss today. It's also not lost on us that when things like this happen, when senseless crimes happen, that we've got the best team in the business to make sure that not only the job gets done, but also that our citizens who live here can feel that much safer knowing that when senseless crime happens, people aren't going to get away with it.
Has McKeel Fountain been cooperative?
No.
You know what kind of weapon was used, anything like that?
I won't get into the specifics of the investigation because, like I said, it's still an active investigation. We have made an arrest in this case, but the investigation is still ongoing, and a lot of tedious work comes out post-arrest. So,
Chief, any
suspected accomplices or other persons of interest in this?
At this time, the investigation is still active. So right now we're focused on Mr. Fountain. But like I've always said, we will hold all those accountable for crimes in Pensacola. All right, thank you.
Members of the media, we have representatives from Kayla's family behind you. If you would like to speak with them.
He'll have a first appearance tomorrow morning.
First appearance tomorrow? Okay, thank you.
We want to bring them up here?
No.
Okay. Okay, if y'all want to sit here, we can set something up around you, or if you want to stand.
No, I can get up. I literally just wanted to say something super short, simple.
Sure.
He literally already said it, but I'm just gonna.
Yeah, sure. Where you want it?
Let's do it right here.
Okay.
Yeah. Turn around. Yeah.
Can we hold up just a minute so we can get his microphone?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I can hold it and hand it to y'all.
You want us to hold your mic for you? Get over there.
Should I be standing?
It's up to you. It's up to you. We'll adjust the cameras however.